Israel's brazen attack on Qatari soil, a direct assault on diplomacy itself. And in an unprecedented act, Israel continues as this summit continues, sir, its atrocities and its ethnic cleansing and its, of course, genocides and displacements of Palestinians and, of course, striking high buildings and killing people and their belongings and left without water, without food, without humanitarian aid. How, sir, do you read this, or what's your narrative on an Arab Islamic summit, emergency one, convened, and at the same time Israel is going on with its actions as if everything is normal all around the world, and these people are not important at all, and Gaza is, and he is moving on with his plans?
Yes, very importantly to understand that let's say the ground operations taking place by the Israeli army as we speak in Gaza is a clear message, in my opinion, to two audiences. The first audience is the Arab world, and coming one day only after the Arab summit is a very clear message from the Israeli government to undermine the outcomes of this summit. Telling the Arab leaders that, look, your summit, the outcomes are not going to influence in any way what the Israeli government has decided to do. So that's the first audience. The second audience, in my opinion, is the international community. As we know, there is a summit on September 22nd to discuss the announcement of the Palestinian state. By taking of course, carrying out this ground operation, trying to flatten Gaza, take its people out of the residential districts, making it inhabitable, actually. And we heard plans also about the West Bank, which the Israeli government is planning to do. This is obviously killing any kind of plans or anticipation that, logistically speaking, there could be a Palestinian state. So the Israeli message is very clear to the Arab audience. We don't actually care. That's the word I didn't want to use, to be honest.
Then an Arab Islamic summit that took place, an emergency one in Qatar, that brought around all the Arab leaders and Islamic leaders all around the world in one day, sir, after the attack on Qatar and the Hamas building over there, during negotiations to reach a ceasefire to end these atrocities and genocides in Israel, in Gaza, sir, and to humanitarian aid for the people to eat and for the babies and women that have been killed on daily basis, sir. Echoed the entire world, and Israel is continuing normally with its plans.
And this is why I said, actually, it's not only a message to the Arab leaders, it's obviously a message to the international community, because let's remember, it's not only the Arab leaders who condemned the Israeli attacks on Gaza and the killing, it was also the international community. And this is why many European leaders stated their plans to recognize the Palestinian state. That is because they understand that what the Israelis are doing in Gaza is unbearable, actually. It's an atrocity which cannot be actually taken as a human act. So what the Arab Summit was trying to send the message is that we have a unified position standing behind Qatar or any state that could be hit by the Israelis. But obviously, while the summit was taking place, the Israeli government, Benjamin Netanyahu, was meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and they were planning for the second day, which is happening today, obviously, the ground invasion of Gaza.
What were they planning, sir? Were they planning to mitigate, for example?
No, what the idea was is that two things discussed in that meeting, and I can, of course, elaborate on that, if you will. So very quickly, number one, the first thing is that the message was President Donald Trump is not actually very much endorsing what's going on in Gaza, but if there is a ground operation, it has to be fast, and it's the Israeli government that bears the responsibility for what's going to happen, number one. Number two, there was a discussion on the West Bank and how far the U.S. is going to give a margin, if you will, of movement which the Israeli government can do regarding the West Bank. There were obviously both sides were very much cautious, especially the Israeli side, about moving forward in the West Bank, especially after the UAE made it clear that any kind of, let's say, moving inside the West Bank is going to put threat, if you will, the Abraham Accords, which the UAE has signed with the Israelis on the basis that the West Bank is going to remain intact. So there were discussions on both Gaza and the West Bank, and the U.S. message was very clear that the Israeli government bears responsibility for what's going to happen, but there is no red line from the U.S., and that was communicated clearly yesterday for the Israeli government.
The U.S. continues saying, sir, and its narrative is that we back Israel. Sir, I'll be back again. I'll leave you here and go to Dr. Qnews. The Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has reiterated his commitment to pursuing peace in the region despite ongoing provocations. How does this stance reflect the broader Arab world consistency and determination toward peace, even in the face of Israel's destabilizing actions, sir?
President Sisi's remarks underline an import message. Despite repeated provocations and escalations, the Arab world still prefers the path of peace over confrontation. So this reflects a consistent position across many Arab capitals, which is to avoid being dragged into cycles of endless wars, while continuing to support the Palestine cause. So by stressing commitments to peace, Egypt also shows that it is acting responsibly as a key regional power. So balancing between defending Arab rights and
Mr. Qnews,
maintaining...
sorry to interrupt you, but do you think that Egypt needs to verify or clarify anything with regards to the country of Egypt and the Egyptian people and what Egypt has done for the Palestinian case and the two-state solution since the beginning of this war? It's not to be discussed, because Egypt is the first country that stood for the Palestinians.
Yes, I think this stance also highlights a broader Arab determination not to let Israel destabilizing actions dictate the regional agenda. Instead of responding with rash moves, Arab states are trying to keep the door open for dialogue, negotiation, and international pressure. So the goal is to show that the Arab world is united around a vision of justice, and even when Israel seeks to undermine such efforts through violence or unilateral measures. So at the same time, the Arab position sends a strong diplomatic message, a commitment to peace. Arab leaders can expose Israel's action as the real obstacle to stability, and they can build wider support globally for the Palestinian cause. So this approach, I think, may not produce immediate breakthroughs, but it strengthens the moral and political legitimacy of the Arab world's stance in the long run.